Hello and welcome to what is hopefully going to be my first YouTube video. Today we're going to be starting a flatbed build on this 2006 F-250. It is a typical Wisconsin truck. As you can see, the cab corners are shot on it. The box is garbage, so I've decided that it's going to be a flatbed. This is one of my plow trucks, so it's not something that I really care a lot about. It doesn't have to look great, but I want it to be decent. I did already start working on the flatbed. I've got a few things fabricated already, and then I decided let's do a video on this. So let me show you what we got going so far, and then we'll get you up to speed and we'll get going on this thing. So without further ado, let's get going. Okay, so here we are. I've already started working on the crossbars, or the frame rails, I guess you call it. I did cut and fabricate the pieces that will support the actual frame of the flatbed. The front one is cut at 3 inches. The second one here I've got cut at 2.5. The third is cut at 2, and the last one is cut at 2.25. I know a lot of people will just go right to the frame with these, the side of the frame rather. I decided that I wanted to use the original box mounting bolts, so I measured these brackets up from the bottom of the box. The crossbars on there are rotted out like everything else in Wisconsin is. So we've already got those cut. I've got this side over here kind of set in place already. To give you an idea of what I'm after here, this is the way it's going to look. I started off, we're 2.75 inches from the back of the cab, which should give me plenty of room for a headache rack. I've got this laid out. All the centers are marked on it already. I did pre-drill a couple holes on here before I decided that I wanted to do a video on this, so it is already started. But I'm going to pick up where we left off here, or where I left off rather, and bring you guys along for the ride. I do have a few pictures I'll show. I'll put those up. I did already work on, I scaled the frame, got everything cleaned up on the frame. I got it painted with some chassis saver that I bought at my local parts store. I do have exhaust order for it. The muffler is shot. I don't know if you can see the hole in there or not. I really can't get a good angle out. The exhaust system shot on it. It's all original, so it's all welded together. This truck does only have 80,000 miles on it. It's got a 5.4 in it. Good running truck. So it's, for what I paid for it, I basically bought the tires. So it's worth putting a little bit of money into. And if nothing else, it's a project, and we'll see how this YouTube thing goes for me. So I'm going to go ahead and take this bar off here. I've got the other one already laid out also, and we're going to start drilling some holes in it, and I'll explain what we're doing as we go. Stay tuned. So like I said, I do already have most of these holes laid out on here for the supports where the bolts will go through. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take an 1.5-inch hole saw, and we're going to drill through the top here, which will give me enough room to get a bolt with a washer through the top, and then I'll be able to bolt it through the bottom using the supports, or the stands rather. We'll sit underneath it like you saw in the truck a minute ago, and then we'll be able to bolt through it. I'm using 2-inch by 3-inch by 3/16 tube stock for the frame rails, I guess we'll call them. So I don't know if my hole saw is going to do it or not. Worst case scenario, I'm going to drill and mark the holes with the hole saw. And if it's going to burn my blade up, I'm just going to go ahead and just cut them out with my plasma cutter. So let's get started and see what it's going to do. This definitely isn't going to be a fast process. I think we're probably going to end up just marking them with the hole saw and doing them, finishing them off with the plasma cutter. So I'm going to pause the camera and see how this works out, and I'll be back. Well, as I expected, the hole saw isn't going to, well, I'm sure it will, but I don't want to burn the hole saw out. So I went ahead and took the hole saw. I marked all my holes, and now I'm going to fire up the old plasma cutter, and we're just going to burn these plugs out with the plasma cutter. So stay tuned. I'll be right back with you. Worked out a lot easier than I expected them to. Let me get these plugs cleaned up a little bit here, and I'll be back. So just to give you a quick look at what we did with the plasma cutter, I figured I'd show it to you quick. Here's what we got. They did open up pretty good. Obviously they're not perfectly round. I guess I should let you all know that I am not in any way, shape, or form a professional fabricator. I like to think I do a decent job, but I don't make a living doing this or anything else. So basically, I guess you could call me an amateur. Definitely not a pro. So a couple other things I wanted to add. The more I looked at these, the more I decided that I didn't like the way it looked on the truck. So I cut them at 82.5 inches. I'm going to go ahead and cut them down to 82 inches because I don't like how close they were to the bumper. So stand by, we'll get these chalked up in the saw and we'll get them cutting. So I don't know if I can do this or not with one hand, but we'll try to get you set up here and show what we got going on. As you can see, like I said, they originally were cut at 82.5, and we are going to shrink them down to 82. I think they're just a little bit too long at 82.5. Here we go. And my saw's jammed up again. What the heck? Okay, here we go. We'll be back. So in the meantime, while that other bar is cutting, I've already cut this one. While the other bar is cutting, we're going to go ahead and lay out this these steps on here, or spaces, whatever you want to call them. You can see I've already got the centers of the holes marked. So I'm going to go ahead and mark the center of the legs or feet, whatever you want to call them. And yeah, that one's not quite centered. My bit walked a little bit. Like I said, I'm not a professional. So we're going to go ahead and get these feet lined up on here and probably get them tacked down. I'll show you what I'm going to do or what my thoughts are on getting this going. So, all right. Okay, so I've gone ahead and got all the feet on here. I got them all centered, lines down them. I've got magnets on the back, hold everything straight. I did already check them for square. Everything should be pretty good. It's kind of hard to tell with the camera, but I did, like I said, I went through and checked everything for square. They're all squared up. Everything's looking good right now. I'm going to go ahead and get my plasma cutter put away and get the welder dug out, and we're going to get these puppies tacked on here. After I tack them on, I'm going to go ahead and dry fit it on the truck again. And if everything lines up good and looks good, then we'll take it back off again, and we'll go ahead and burn these feet in with the welder. Stand by. All right, let's melt some metal. All right, we're going to go ahead and throw it back on the truck now and see how everything looks. Good, actually. drop a couple bolts through this and see how it lines up. But so far, so good. Awesome. I've already put the back bolt in. This one on both sides, the original box mount hole isn't straight in line, so I'm going to have to go back and before I actually fasten these permanently, I'm going to have to drill another hole in here or make that hole egg-shaped a little bit so we can get a bolt through it. But as of right now, these bolts all drive through real nice. So I'm going to go ahead and finish setting the other one up. I'm going to go ahead and weld these in quick and get that set up, and we'll be back with the other one hopefully. Okay, so I finished welding everything up. I got all the legs or feet, whatever we decide we're gonna call them, welded onto both pieces. I got them both back on the truck. I do have bolts through all the holes, everything lined up. Off camera, I did drill out those two other holes I mentioned that need to be taken care of yet. So those are done. There's bolts through all of these. What I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna go ahead and secure the corners. I'm gonna snug them up a little bit, but not real tight. I want it just enough where it won't move. Then we gotta go ahead and get this squared up. So here we go. I'm just using nuts on right this time. I am going to put lock nuts on when it's done, obviously. Right now I'm just trying to secure these down just so we can get everything squared up. So we're just using regular non-locking nuts this time. Now move on to. Okay. Anyways. Place the nut somewhere. Oh, here it is. Like I said, just let it slug up a little bit so it doesn't move around on me. Damn, I got that battery already. Come on, you gotta be kidding me. There's one. Alright, that's secure that pretty good. It's stiffened it up so it's not wobbling around anymore. And there went that nut. Wait. Okay. Alright, you saw how that pulled that back up nice and solid now. So let's stiffen up and we can go ahead and square it up. Hopefully it's not too tight. So, alright, now to square it up, we have to first get our distance side to side. Which quite honestly, I don't even know what that is, so I haven't even attempted to figure that out yet. Side to side, we are 37 here. And we're 37 here. Okay, now to square it, we're going to measure crisscross across here and compare our measurements. So right now we're at, looks like 89 and 7/8. That way. You've got to be kidding me. This thing's actually sitting here square. Right off the bat. 89 and 7/8. Alright. Well, I can't believe that happened. I guess I get lucky once in a while. So I think I'm going to call it a day here right now. What we'll do next time is we'll get the crossbars lined up for it. Get everything cut. I haven't decided how far out I want to go yet. How much past the sides of the truck. So I will think about that in between, and we'll be back another day to go ahead and work on those crossbars. Until then, thanks for watching. Enjoy yourselves, and don't forget to be nice to each other.